Welcome once more to the storm-tossed and pirate-infested waters off the coast of Tortuga. Today, as usual, we're going on an adventure. We're going to talk all about sailing and pirating in Windrose. So, if you like the video, hit like. And subscribe if you really like it. It would help me out. As a warning, this video contains spoilers for the story of Windrose. Alright, let's get into it. The seas are dangerous, and those who dance upon them risk their lives for a chance to feel the waves beneath their feet and experience the salt spray mist in the air. There are those as sail for treasure, some as sail for war, and some sail for the love of adventure. The canvas above catches the air, and the rigging takes the slack. The wind is up, and the bow of your ship cuts through the water. The helm is in your hands, and the crew is at the ready, some above decks and some below. You shout your commands, and they obey. Your vessel runs like a well-oiled machine. You forget, for a moment, the burdens placed upon you and feel the rush as the sea lays open before you. Waves and wind at your command, and the sound of water lashing your hull like a sweet melody brings you a moment of peace. But only a moment. Ahead lies your target. You've been hunting her, and she's not alone. Ships coming up fast as you close the distance. And then, you remember why you're here. You're sailing in claimed waters, and soon, you intend to claim them back. Voices shout over the water, and soon you're upon her. The deck rumbles beneath you as your cannons fire. You've marked your enemy, but she's got some fight in her. She's up broadside, and her battery roars. Splinters fly, and rigging snaps as you bring your bow around to fire again. You're here for the fight, and for the treasure, and of course, a little bit of adventure. You've also got a mystery to solve, and you're not about to let some lubbin new-hand sea dog stand in your way. As your men let off another broadside, and you spin the helm, you remember how you got here. It was a long road you walked to get here, and it was a long shot that you'd make it at all. You fought many battles to get yourself back on the water. You were marooned. No ship, no crew, just a broken blade and a waterlogged pistol. It was a long road indeed, and you're not done with it yet. Rather, it isn't done with you. There's open sea before you and no rest in sight. It took a lot for you to get here. You awoke on an island, a place with no name. At least, not one known to you. You felt the pain in your chest. You remembered the barking of guns, and the dull ache reminds you of the bullet that didn't quite finish the job. It should have, though. Your crew was gone, your ship sunk, but you had to make your way back to the sea somehow. First, though, you'd have to survive a night alone. You scavenged and scrounged, fought through the jungle with your shattered blade, and fended off the wildlife with your waterlogged pistol. You built yourself a little haven, and finally you could sit in relative safety and look out over the waves lapping at the shore and finally put your mind to the problem. How to get yourself back out there? Well, your own ship was not the only one to go down in these waters, judging by the wreckage washed ashore. Maybe you could find enough hull and mast and sail to make seaworthy at least. You found some old notes and scraps of paper from sailors gone before. There are clues there, you know it. There are a few places on nearby islands that look like they'd be good places to go looking. You've got a small boat that'll get you there if the wind is right. Nothing more than an old lifeboat. You head out and soon find the first wreck lying on its side. But it's far from empty. No living souls remain. Any that were have likely been killed by the creatures roaming around the rotting hull. This may be your first encounter with the drowned, the remains of those who once sailed the now stricken vessel. Doomed to wake from their watery grave, they attack the living on sight. Be wary. You'll want to dispatch them before you investigate the site. There's treasure here. Nothing much. And on closer inspection, there isn't much else you can use. So you leave it behind. A marker for the souls lost aboard, slowly sinking into the sand, not long to be washed into nothing by the roaring sea and tide. You have another to find, though. It's in much the same condition as the first, but hardly worth the trouble, honestly. But then, you find it. A hull still partially sealed with pitch. Broken spars and masts can be fixed, canvas and nails you'll need, and some more timber. Most importantly, you'll need a crew. You can't sail her alone. Just when you're racking your brain to try and figure out how to crew your ship, a visitor appears. Dr. Galen. You thought him dead, but he's managed to survive, and he's found you. You're not alone anymore, which is a blessing, as you'd found yourself talking to the crabs and gulls. Dr. Galen's been doing some exploring of his own, and he knows where you can find some souls still living out here. They may join you, but you'll have to free them first. The pirates who thought you killed have camps nearby, and they've taken sailors prisoner. If you break them out and free them, they'll likely join up without much prompting. You fight your way through angry pirates, take a few more bullets for your trouble, but you manage to get the job done. Together, you patch and board and sew, and finally, with one last push, the once floundering wreck takes to the sea again. And so do you. It's time to make your way to Tortuga. There's business to attend to, and you've got a death to avenge. Your own death. I mean, technically, you're not dead, but Blackbeard and his crew don't know that, and Really, it's the thought that counts. After a few engagements with enemy vessels, some of which you barely survive, you'll start to realize that getting out on the water again was just the start. Soon, you'll need something bigger, something stronger, something with more guns. Luckily, the folks over at Tortuga can teach you to make whatever you need, from new clothes and weapons to better cannons, hull armor. They can even teach you some naval tactics. You'll need to make your mark with them first, though. That means bounties. Fighting pirates and doing jobs will earn you favor, and eventually, they'll be willing to sell you what you need. The smugglers will teach you all the tactics you could need to outwit your enemies at sea. Having tactical manuals aboard your ship will keep your crew in top form. The buccaneers will sell you the plans for the biggest and best guns you can strap aboard your ship, and the Brethren of the Coast will, if you've really made your reputation among them, sell you plans for new ships. Getting the plans is just the first step, though. You'll still need to build them, and that's no easy task. Your first wreck wasn't so difficult to get into the water, just a bit of repair work. But if you want something with more teeth, you'll need to build her straight from the keel up. You'll have to mine the copper and iron for nails, gather and process a shipyard's worth of lumber, and weave, cut, and sew miles of canvas for your sails. That's not to mention all the rope for the rigging and tar to seal the hull. It's a big job, but it's worth it if you're serious about making your name out on the treacherous waters. You'll be facing some of the toughest fights you've ever come across, and Blackbeard and his crew don't play fair. Your ship will be struck and broken, her hull shattered and splintered, her rigging sagging and low, and her sails torn before your work is done. You'll need to learn to fix her up on the fly, and of course, you'll need to make her look fierce. You'll have to turn your little camp into a functioning shipyard to do all that, of course. Once you've built your first wharf and dock, you can start to get to work on some of that. You can repair a ship here much easier than doing so out on the open ocean, and if she's been so battered as to be barely seaworthy, you can also bring her back to life, so to speak. You can change up her fittings and give her a new name, some paint, and change the colors you fly. You'll want to keep her cannons upgraded and in good repair. A couple of 12-pounders are handy to have, but they don't cut it against heavier armed ships. Eventually, you'll have to get something bigger, 24s or 36ers, if your ship can take the weight. Hull armor will need attention too. Your ship will take a beating and more often, will come home full of holes. She'll need to be braced against incoming fire, and if you do it right, she'll be a fortress out there on the waves. You'll need to keep your tactics up to date. You want your crew well drilled and in fighting shape, and of course, you'll need to provide all the tools your men will need to engage in close quarters during a boarding action. With all the right tools and fittings, Blackbeard doesn't stand a chance against you. And of course, your ship isn't just a good hunter. You'll need her well equipped to properly explore the world. You've got many seas to sail, and a lot of treasure to find. A good captain with a good crew can master the wind, the waves, and the tides, can wring fortune from fate's cruel hands. And there's fortune to be had for those so bold as to go looking. You'll need to learn to navigate. Ships take a lot of experience to master. The wheel will answer to your commands, but it takes time. Timbers creak and sails will move to catch the wind. You have to plan ahead, know how she handles, and learn to keep her steady through stormy seas. If you're ever feeling the rush of the wind and the thrill of the chase, you can rouse your crew and sing some shanties to get the energy up. If you need to make your way home, you can do so quickly from the helm. Routes you've taken and marked with bells will be so easy to sail, it's like you've blinked and you've arrived. Mind you, there's nothing quite like the feeling of the waves washing against your hull and a brand new horizon before you. Of course, unfamiliar seas bring unfamiliar threats. You'll need to be prepared to face them. And that's where you find yourself now. The rumble of cannons beneath your feet as smoke drifts across the water between shots. The decks lay scattered with splintered wood and your hull's been battered and pierced, but the fight's just beginning, and your ship and crew have a lot of fight left in them. How you approach a fight is important. The first moments of combat can make or break an engagement. If you sail straight at the enemy, never veering, then you've got a small forward battery that can throw some shot their way. But you'll want to come along broadside to do any real damage. That's where the power is. You'll be close, and navigating during a fight is difficult. You'll get peppered with shot if you're still turning while the enemy gets in position. If you can slow them down with some chain shot, you can get yourself in position to deal a lethal blow before they can maneuver out of your way. But be careful. If you miss, you'll have to wait for the crew to reload your guns, and every second counts out on the open water. Your crew will have been busy while you've been out adventuring, and your ship will be well stocked with all the ammunition you'll ever need, but don't get too comfortable. It takes skill to use your weapons properly and not get yourself sent down to the bottom by a well-trained enemy. Aiming your guns takes practice too. You'll be bobbing up and down on the waves, and your targets will be maneuvering around you. Your cannons have predictable arcs of fire, but it's easy to miss at even short distances if the enemy ship can turn herself away. Once you make the decision to fire, you're committed to it. You'll have to bring your ship around again to get another shot in, and that costs even more time. If you're not careful, you can get flanked as well. Your ship's batteries have blind spots, and if you aren't paying attention, you'll get raked with fire before you can even get a shot off. But with practice, you and your crew will learn the delicate balance of power and tactics required to sail away from a fight. Of course, if you manage to cripple an enemy, they may no longer be a threat, but the fight's not over. It just takes a different form. Once the cannons go quiet and the smoke begins to fade, you see one ship left standing out there in the water. She's not moving though. Your guns have made sure of that. Her rigging's slack and her sails are torn to bits. You can see men running around on deck, trying to patch her up and keep her afloat, to get at least one more shot off before you sail away. You can't let that happen. You come alongside her slow and steady. Your crew throws over the grapples, and now you're one leap away. You ready your blade and pistol, and with faithful sailors at your side, you leap across the gap. There's some resistance, but with skill and luck, you subdue your enemy. The fight's gone out of them, and they surrender their cargo to you. There's mercy in this. You could have sunk them as they floundered. Now, at least some of these men may swim away alive. Rescue may come, though Blackbeards are not known to show leniency for failure. Maybe some of them will face you again. Out on the open ocean, you'll lock eyes across the waves and you'll show them why challenging you and your crew was a bad idea. Well, you've got your sea legs beneath you now, and a good crew to sail with. You've got yourself a mighty hunter, bristling with cannons and covered in armor. You're ready to master the waves, the wind, and the roaring tides. You sail not just for treasure now, not just for the thrill of adventure. There's a fire in your heart that only revenge will quench. You're ready. You'll face any danger to get it, and no one will stand in your way. Look, there's tons of adventure out on the waters in Windrose. Tons of danger, too. Don't forget to sharpen your sword and, wear your coolest looking hat. I want to thank everybody for watching, especially if you made it to the end. Again, if you liked the video, please hit like, and if you really liked it, hit subscribe. And as always, tell me some of your sea tales in the comments down below. Oh, and before you go, I want to give a shout out to my patrons who help support the channel. Our $10 patron is Wachuki at the artisan level. Head on over and sign up for some extra videos I don't put on the channel. It really helped me out. And remember, pirates aren't really an honorable lot, so even if negotiations are going pretty well, have your pistol handy. Thank you all. Bye, Internet.